All right, welcome. McCool Cemetery. We're here to check out Josephus Wolf and his family. And there's their monument right there, that great big one. I think he may have the biggest one in the cemetery. Check this out. This is part of a abandoned cemetery. Well, pieces that were left of it. James Schrock Cemetery Memorial. You can't really see it, but under the snows, tons of pieces of headstones. I mean, they're everywhere. I'll put a link in the description of a video I did about them. And this is the cemetery here, James Schrock Cemetery Memorial. And here's a couple of Wolfs right here, Jacob Wolf and Linda Wolf. That's Josephus's mother and father right there. And Sophia Young may be related to Josephus, his wife, Susan. I got a hell of a plot right here. It's all these stones here in the front, plus that great big one. All the way this way. Look at that. That is amazing. Josephus Wolf, born June 22nd, 1822, died March 7th, 1895, and his wife Susan Wolf, 1829, and died in 1903. Now, my question is, there was 5 children's graves at Wolf Mansion. Everybody knows Wolf Mansion in the area. You might not know the name Josephus Wolf, but you sure know Wolf Mansion. Anyways, all these kids along here are sons and daughters of Josephus's sons. Now, I talked to the guy at Wolf Mansion, and he said they did remove one of the graves and brought over here to McCool Cemetery, which that don't make any sense. Why would they just bring the one? So I think there's 5 graves. Josephus and Susan had 8 kids. 3 of them lived. 1 died in his 30s. And 5 kids were buried at the property. Here's Josephus right here. Here's his wife, Susan. Now this right here, this is Frank M. This is their son. He died in his 30s, 30 years old, 8 months, 19 days. That's Frank M. There's 2 more kids that grew up. And here they are. Here's Ida M. This is wife of Elmer. And I think this says Ruby, and this is daughter of FM and Ida, which Ida's right there. That's the mother of Frank, Josephus's son, Frank. And this one I really can't see. something Arnold. And this is, I think it's a son or daughter of Frank. Actually, both of these are Frank's kids. There's Lewis M. I think it says daughter of. No, that'd be son of. So all of them are Josephus's son's kids. There's more. Look at all these down here. Here's Mary, and she was the wife of Elmer. Here's Josephus M. And I think that's a kid of Elmer's. Another Elmer child. And here's Edith. Or a daughter of Elmer, I believe. And then here's Gladys. And that may be Elmer's kid also. And here is, looks like daughter. Infant, it says. Now, 1896, this ain't Josephus's kid because he died 1895. Here's daughter of E.E., that's Elmer. It just says infant. So that makes you wonder, right? Well, you don't really wonder about Josephus's other kids. They're still at Wolf Mansion. In the back there, I know exactly where it was. I've seen an old picture somewhere. But boy, that's an amazing stone, ain't it? Look on this side, it says Josephus M, Edith, Gladys. That's the ones over there. And on this side, I see, it's real hard to see, Ida, Rex, Lewis, Ruby. All right. So let's go to the Wolf Mansion. All right. Wolf Mansion, Porter County. Great place. A lot of history. This guy owned like 5,000 acres right here. Totally curious about these graves here. Been wanting to walk up to it, but I never have. I know the stones have been removed and they have them inside there. There's 2 stones. Here they are right here. And the guy said, people that's here now, super nice guy. He actually wrote a book on Josephus Wolf. But he did say they removed one of the graves, which don't make no sense to me. Of course, that happened early 1900s or whatever, so. What a beautiful building. Wow, look at them doors.
Josephus Wolf was one of Porter County's history makers. He was born in Athens County, Ohio, June 22, 1822, and was the youngest of 7 children born to Jacob and Lydia Wolf. The family moved to Porter County in 1834 and settled on 20 Mile Prairie in Portage Township. They took up land in the then wilderness, and Josephus stuck to the farm until 1854, when he went to California to join the gold hunters. He remained there 2 years and returned with $3,000. This gave him the foundation for the vast fortune he left at his death, which included a 5,000-acre farm of the finest land in all this county. The Wolf home resembles a miniature city, covered as it is with fine barns and a magnificent farm home. The estate has substantial houses for tenants, all of whom are prosperous and contented. One notable feature of the Wolf home was that its table was always set, and no man or woman ever went away from there hungry, no matter who he was or what his condition was. True hospitality abided in that home. The Josephus Wolf House is a Victorian Italianate mansion built in 1875. The farm consisted of in Portage Township, Porter County. It was the centerpiece of a family farm that included 4 additional buildings for beef and dairy animals. The house consists of 18 rooms with pine molding and red oak floors. The main rooms include a formal parlor, kitchen, dining room, sitting room, study, and several bedrooms. The main hall includes a walnut staircase. From the second level, another stairway leads to the attic and a white cupola on the roof. The cupola provided a view of the entire farm, as well as Chicago on a clear day. The building was placed on the National Historic Register in 2007. There has been many stories about what happened to the children. The online paranormal community believes Josephus Wolf killed his family. Legend says the owner of this mansion went crazy after slavery was abolished. In his rage, he killed all of his slaves and their children.
These little graves, which was 5 of them. I believe at least 4 are still here.
Stories say he even killed his own family while he was at it, before killing himself. Witnesses say that there is an unexplained light that comes on in the bell tower, and they have heard the rininging of a non-existent bell. Orbs and apparitions have also been seen, some through the windows. Also reported at the mansion are eerie sounds and feelings.
But I think this is where they were buried.
If all were true, it would have been recorded in the local newspapers. It's a scary legend, but nothing was ever proven. Josephus Wolf was here reared on the farm, and here he has always lived, with the exception of the years 1851 and 1852, which were spent in the mines of California. By industry and good management, Mr. Wolf has become the owner of 4,500 acres, the largest farm in the county, and well improved with a fine residence, erected in 1876, and all other requisite buildings.
I heard you couldn't get in there no more. But it was drywalled. See it right there? Telescope. So they may open it back up.
He has devoted his attention mainly to stock raising and dairying, and now has a herd of about 350 cattle, including some extra fine specimens of blooded Holstein and Hereford stock.
That's a lot of brick. Now I heard that, I don't know if it was that end piece there, the whole thing, that it was 4 bricks wide. I don't know if that's true or not. But if it was, man, talk about a fallout shelter.
September 29, 1852, on returning from California, Mr. Wolf was united in marriage to Miss Susan M. Young, a sister to Martin Young. In politics, he is a Republican, but is no office seeker. He was among the first to settle on the prairie, and much of its growth and improvement is due to his enterprise. Josephus Wolf built this stately Victorian Italianate mansion in 1875 and lived there with his wife Susan Young Wolf until he died in 1895. His grandfather, Andrew Wolf, came to the United States on the ship Hero in the year 1764.
Got this old picture here taken in the front, and I mean, it could be the only picture of Josephus. I don't know if it's the sons when they were older. The time period looks about right. But if you look here, let me get over this way a little bit.
Josephus's father, Jacob Wolf, moved to this area from Ohio in 1834. Josephus and Susan had 8 children, only 3 of whom lived to adulthood: Martin Young, Elmer E., and Frank M. It is reported that there were at one time 5 tiny graves on the property for the 5 small children that did not survive.
Could be. Right here, 1875 it says. And it's supposed to say, which you really can't see it, I'm surprised it's deteriorated that bad, Josephus Wolf right there. So I think sure has deteriorated. 1875 though, you know. It's quite a long time ago.
Josephus was a major landholder in the region and owned a total of 5,000 acres at one time, which he accumulated over the years. His holdings encompassed a large part of what is now Portage Township, South Haven, and Union Township, extending from Route 6 to Route 30. Although Josephus went to the gold rush in 1850 or 1851, it appears that he eventually accumulated his land by hard work and good business sense. During his tenure, Josephus' land held many barns, tenement houses, and outbuildings. He raised prime beef cattle and had about 347 head, and also had a dairy farm with close to 50 milk cows. He sold his cattle to the Chicago stockyards, where it was rated prime. The milk that he produced was picked up by train and taken to Chicago on a regular basis. One day, Mr. Wolf was riding in his buggy drawn by his well-known horse and had been watching a passing train. Josephus Wolf of 20 Mile Prairie, and one of the wealthiest and best-known farmers of northern Indiana, is lying at his home in a critical condition from injuries received last Saturday in Hobart. Mr. Wolf was on his way home about 2 o'clock that afternoon, and when near the road crossing of the Fort Wayne Road at Hobart, a runaway team came dashing up behind him at full speed, hitched to a lumber wagon. The buggy he was riding in was smashed into kindling wood, and the 3 horses and Mr. Wolf became mixed into one great writhing mass. When all went down in a heap on the railroad track, the team that caused the accident belonged to a farmer who had them tied in front of a Hobart store. A mule team came along driven by a railroader who was thrashing his team. This frightened the farmer's team and caused them to break loose and run away. When extricated, it was expected that Mr. Wolf was dead, but somehow he escaped. However, he is badly injured. Several ribs are broken and he is bruised all over. Monday, he was raising blood, and it is feared that he is fatally injured internally. Mr. Young was out to see him Monday and George Morgan went out Tuesday. He is perfectly rational and is bearing up under his injuries bravely. But for the past year, he has been in poor health and is quite advanced in years, and the worst is feared. Josephus Wolf passed away that night. The funeral was held Sunday, and the remains were laid to rest in the McCool Cemetery, followed to their last resting place by a very large concourse of mourning relatives and friends. After Josephus's death, Susan Young Wolf remained in the house until she passed away in 1903. Both Susan Young and Josephus Wolf are buried in the McCool Cemetery.